If you're a CrossFitter and you want to master the kipping pull-up, watch this video. We're going to run through the 3 stages of mastering any skill: strength, mobility, and skill work. You need to do all 3 of these approaches, and generally you lack in one of these areas. This video today is going to be part 1. We're going to work on the strength that is required to do a kipping pull-up. Now, I know you internet warriors and you keyboard lovers are going to hate that there's a video about how to not do a pull-up efficiently. But in CrossFit, kipping pull-ups are needed to be able to perform more work capacity in a shorter time duration. Just doing strict pull-ups won't get you as far in a Metcon. Your heart rate will not elevate and you won't get the result that you require. That being said, coming to competition, there is the butterfly pull-up, which is not what we're covering today. We're covering the kipping pull-up. We're going to start off by running through strength. Obviously, strength is probably the cornerstone and one of the most important elements of developing a kipping pull-up. Now, if you already have the strength, there will be part 2 and 3 out that will cover mobility and the skill work that's required to achieve your first rep. You might be wondering what level of strength is required for a kipping pull-up. I've seen people who aren't able to perform even 1 strict pull-up do multiple kipping pull-ups unbroken. However, as a CrossFit coach of 6 years and my own personal bias, I believe everyone who's doing a pull-up in any way, shape, or form should be able to do the strict variation for multiple repetitions. Here are my recommendations of what I believe you should be able to do to perform a kipping pull-up without injury. So at the bare minimum, 1 strict pull-up. At the bare minimum. I wouldn't even accept 1. I'm looking for 5 strict pull-ups, but I know people are eager to be able to perform kipping. They want to get it done faster in a workout, and I understand that 5 strict pull-ups will literally take an entire year, so 1 is better than none. At least being able to perform 1 strict pull-up means you're on your way to being able to do more kipping pull-ups. A 10-second negative lower is key. Being able to control your body on the way down and having adequate lat strength to support that will be ideal. Being able to understand how to hold a correct hollow and arch position will be required, as you will be performing this on the rig during the kip. And then a dead hang of 20 seconds. I say to all my clients, how can I expect you to do 20 seconds of work if you can't even hold your body weight on the rig for 20 seconds? Now, if you are looking at accelerating your progress to getting your first strict pull-up, check out my 8-week strict pull-up program, and it will help accelerate that progress, get you there faster. You've got a progression 2 days a week. It'll help develop and improve your ability to perform a pull-up, build muscle in the areas that are required, and have a lot more of the exercises we're about to cover today. A primary strength exercise for building pull-ups, you would never guess it, it's pull-ups. You've got to do the movement itself to get better at it. You've got to do other movements to help progress those lacking areas and those strength deficits, as well as improving structural balance. But performing the strict pull-up and the chin-up will be key to be able to develop the adequate strength to get more pull-ups, to also hold yourself in the right position, and to understand your body's awareness, or to have awareness of your body. Doesn't really make sense. Have more body awareness. Of course, if you're not in that category of being able to perform a strict pull-up yet, that's okay. We've got a couple of options for you guys. We want to be able to overhand hold on the rig, performing a repetition, whether that's with a band or a little bit of extra assistance, having a low-lying box that'll help us get up there. Additionally, you can use the inverted row, also known as the Australian pull-up, which is going to put you in a different position to what we normally have in a pull-up, but it still imitates the same grip width and stance you would have if you were dead hanging. It just takes away the stress of dead hanging. Now, these are incredibly challenging in high rep ranges. Anywhere from 8 to 12 reps of this movement will be tough. So be careful. I know it doesn't seem so hard on paper, but this thing can really sneak up on you as far as the difficulty of the movement. I love inverted rows as well, because it allows us to get a little bit more range of motion. Some people will say ring rows are a good movement, and they are. I love ring rows. They also allow us to work more unilateral imbalances, so one arm's not favoring the whole time. But for this video, people who train in a garage gym may not be able to have access to something like rings. The inverted row is a good alternative. Just chuck a barbell on a rack, old-fashioned, get it done. It'll be good fun. Pull-up negative obviously is going to be a big movement we can improve. also you can use a banded assistance on this particular movement. You can have something that controls you on the way down and allows you to support good movement. Low rep ranges on a pull-up negative will be ideal because we want to express the most amount of time possible in that descent. Developing more of our active rig hang will not only develop grip strength and posture and positioning, but you'll get some nice shoulder and spine decompression just through the elongating of the spine. Relax your hips at the bottom. This will feel nice, especially if you do a lot of deadlifting and squatting. That spine tends to get a little bit compressed. But they're going to cover off our main strength movements. We're going to move on to our secondary movements. These are going to help support us develop muscle around the areas and in the areas that we really need to make sure we're able to get some solid pull-ups. Now, back exercises, there's things like the bent over row and the meadows row. And these are the two exercises that are my go-to. Obviously, you can change up grips, supinated, pronated. It's your choice. Whatever you need to develop more, whether it's your lats, whether it's your upper back, your rhomboids, your trapezius, or your biceps, you get to choose and have a bit of variance here. But bent over row, it's going to allow you to load a lot more weight. And if you are someone who currently doesn't have a pull-up, this is a good alternative as well. The meadow row is a little bit different. We're taking it from more of a neutral angle rather than a pronated or supinated grip. This also forces you to have to grip the bar quite heavily as it is quite round. And it also isolates arms. Once again, we're working those unilateral differences, creating more structural balance, which will keep us even to help us get more pull-ups quicker. The kneeling lat pull down is another great accessory movement because it's a combination movement. Just like the meadows row where we're combining grip and back strength, the kneeling lat pull down combines lat and core strength. With the kneeling or the tall kneeling position, this will force our core to be nice and active. I like to slightly crunch over and make sure I'm tensing through my abs as I'm pulling or pushing down on that rope to try and get it into my hips. This you can go quite heavy as you are utilizing both lats and core. And like I said, we're just getting big bang for our buck. You can work pretty much less and get more out of it. You can have a shorter session if you combine movements like the meadow row and the kneeling lat pull down. And I think they're excellent for not only the pull-ups, but also the toe to bars as well. Now that we've covered off both the primary and secondary strength movement, let's touch on some accessory work. The biggest accessory points are going to be bicep strength and core strength. They're the two areas that I find most people struggle at or lack when they are coming to their pull-up. Let's have a look at it. Hollow and arch holds are going to be ideal. You can obviously extend this to something like a GHD hollow hold and a GHD Sorensen hold, but this is a little bit more advanced. And if you have this kind of core strength, I really doubt that you're struggling in a pull-up. But that being said, each to their own. People do struggle. People have trouble. Don't worry. That rhymes. It must be cool. Hollow and arch holds obviously focus on pushing our belly button into the floor, making sure that there's no space under our back in that position. We're really getting our core nice and active. The shoulders and the feet lift off the floor. We don't want to have our legs too high. We don't want to have them insanely low. We just want to kind of have a neutral position where the body is on almost a 25-degree angle. A lot of gymnasts like to call this the dish shape. I like to call it the dish shape too. It kind of sounds cool. It makes it a little bit easier to think about. Arch holds, these are a little bit easier to maintain and perform. However, they do help work our erectors and our lower back, puts us in a nice position. And your focus here is to think squeeze the glutes. A lot of people have inactive glutes when performing any form of kipping. And I'd say at least 90% of members generally have this leg flick that they generate. This is to reduce overall tension in the arch hold, but at the cost of efficiency and being able to generate more momentum. Having more tension in this position is harder initially, but if you work on the position time and time again, you're going to be able to hold on for more kipping pull-ups, more toes to bar, more muscle ups. So don't bend the leg, work that arch hold, squeeze those glutes, make sure we're nice and active through the mid to lower back, and you guys will be sweet. Curls, gun holds, big biceps. This is going to be the fun part of the program. I like to give a little bit of variance and choice to the athlete, that'll be you, to choose which bicep movement tends to work better for you. For me personally, something like an incline bicep curl is super effective because I feel like it genuinely isolates my biceps, but it also stops me from using excess momentum. The bonus of it too is A, I get to lie down, who doesn't like that? And B, I also enjoy the fact that the weights are generally a little bit lighter. These go hand in hand when we are looking at trying to isolate the biceps and have that mind-muscle connection. Weak biceps in a pull-up stops us from being able to push away from the rig or even just genuinely hold ourselves there. The pull-up top hold can also be a nice exercise that we can add into our program that allows us to generate more of this positional awareness. And it also is going to make it or allow us to go further when it comes to repeating repetitions. So I like to kind of combine both the bicep curl, the pull-up top hold and the gun hold as kind of a 3-movement combination for developing bicep strength. Let's look at the gun hold. Find yourself a wall to make sure we're not overly arching our back, kind of cheating the rep. 15 to 20 kilos, 20 kilos for men, 15 for ladies. Your goal is to be able to hold for 15 seconds. So that's what you're going to work yourself up to. If we can hold ourselves for 15 seconds in a gun hold, which is more of a neutral grip, we're looking at working slightly different parts of our bicep compared to something like what I like to call the Hamilton hold. Yes, I named a movement after myself. No, I don't own the movement. I just don't really know what to call it. It's kind of a half bicep isometric hold, but that doesn't really sound sexy. The Hamilton hold, that sounds sexy. So Hamilton hold, same thing, 15 seconds. It's a barbell hold at 90 degrees, looking at having a 20 kilo bar for men, 15 kilos for ladies. Can you hold both of these for 15? That'll be a goal. If you can, that'll mean you'll be able to hold yourself in that top position. Combine this with a pull-up top hold for about 15 seconds, and we're literally just drowning in money. We're killing it. So adding those movements in will make you more efficient. It will allow you to develop more strength, and obviously ticking off that prerequisite list that we talked about at the start will be ideal. Getting 5 strict pull-ups, holding a 10-second negative, being able to perform hollow holds and arch holds, dead hang of 20 seconds, and then additionally 15 seconds gun hold, 15 seconds Hamilton hold, 15 seconds pull-up top hold. You'll be doing pull-ups in no time. This is literally the bread and butter, the nuts and bolts, the hard side of developing a kipping pull-up or a cheating pull-up. If you aren't able to have the strength, literally having all the mobility and skill work in the world is not going to be able to get you big repeat sets, which I know you want. So keep that in mind. If you yourself are struggling on working out how to kind of engage in a good program, or even just need some more accountability, do be sure to check out my website. I have online coaching that will assist you in improving your ability, both in CrossFit, strength training, any looking aspect that you're looking at improving. Our coaches here at Unbound Athletic will help you with that. unboundathletic.com.au will get you where you want to go. But that's going to be part 1 of our how to master the kipping pull-up video. Like the video, please leave it a like. Comment down below on what you're struggling with the kipping pull-up. See if I can at least give you some advice or some assistance on how to improve it. And I'll see you guys on part 2, which we're going to focus on mobility.